Mike's Bags. Today I'm reviewing the Sidewinder X by Pitch Bags. Let's go and dive in, break this bag down. As always, start with materials. Slow side, this is a linen material, very similar, if not the exact same material you find on the slow side of the Ultra Psycho X, Widow X, Reynolds Victory, Swag Bags Delirium. Some other bags out there use it as well. To me, it's a wonderful material when boards are dry and fast. It's one of my favorite materials when you have dry, fast boards. I love this material. I love playing with it. The biggest knock, the biggest downside of material is moisture. If you have some humidity and dampness on the boards, this material will stop and stick. It doesn't move at all when there's any moisture. As long as boards are dry, it plays phenomenal. Speed-wise, it's a tough material to give a speed rating to because it is impacted a lot by weather conditions, board conditions. Fast, dry boards, it'll play a 7-speed. Sticky, wet, damp boards, it's like a 1 or 2 speed. I tend to call it a 5-speed because for me, what I call normal conditions, normal weather, normal board conditions, it's right about a 5-speed, somewhere in that 5 to 6 range. So I'm gonna call it a 5-speed, but understand that this material does fluctuate a lot when board conditions change. You'll get variable speeds on it. So 5-speed on the slow side. Fast side, this is that game changer, surefire fast side. 8.5 speed. It's fast. It's great for pushing, collecting blocks. It's great for sliding up and blowing up piles, cleaning up messes, slides of the board in any condition. Bag speed's looking at a 5, 8.5 speed in these Sidewinder X's. Template-wise, this is a medium template bag. It's got a medium amount of fill, but it's on the fuller side. This is closer to a fuller bag. It is a loose bag. However, these two materials are very thin and pliable, and so you have a floppy bag. I mean, this bag has flop to it, but it's still a full bag. It's not a loose bag, but it does have flop, if that makes sense to you, which is actually wonderful for the forgiveness of the bag. You still have the fullness of the hand feel, so you get a really nice grip. You get a lot of material, a lot of fill to grab a hold of. You can lock the bag down nicely, but because of that flop, you get a little bit of a softer landing, and you get more forgiveness around the hole. I talk about floppy bags. You get that corner to dip in, it'll grab and pull the bag back in. Fuller bags tend to skip over because that corner just doesn't dip in as far. It tends to stick out more than it drops down in. Floppy bags will drop in more. So because of these thin materials, you get kind of that playability of a floppy bag, but the hand feel of a full bag. Really love the way the bag feels, love the forgiveness the bag has. Fill in here is a mixed fill as well. If you watch my reviews, you know I love mixed fills. You've got some beads in here, you've got some flat discs in here, you may have some other fluff, I don't know. I love the fill here. It gives the bag just enough movement and bounce that cuts, rolls, and flops are very easy with the Sidewinder X. You've got enough of the beads in there so that the bag just drips in the hole. And as I talked about the forgiveness of the bag willing to grab the hole, which means once it grabs it, that fill, those beads just start moving. This bag just kind of drips and falls right in the hole, melts in the hole. I love the way this bag plays around the hole. And honestly, one of the knocks typically in this linen material is it tends to want to hang on the hole. And in some situations, these bags, this material will kind of stick and hang up. But I think because of the fill that Pitch is using these bags, I did not have a problem with it hanging on the hole. I felt like if the bag was up near the hole, it was going in. If for some reason it stopped, it hung there. The next bag coming in, I didn't have to get crazy. Just come and hit it, it would pull that bag in. So I had no problem with how the bag played around the hole. And then as I mentioned, the shot shaping, right? The cuts, rolls, flops, because you have enough bounce, enough action in this fill here, the bag is pretty easy to get those really aggressive cuts with it. It's a really easy bag for rolls and flops and stuff like that. So if shot shaping is your game, you can definitely do it here. I will say that this bag, this material and this fill, this bag has a little bit of a kick to it. It's not harsh. That's another knock. This linen material tends to want to grab and kick in a lot of situations. And when you put some beads in the fill, you tend to get a more aggressive kick. However, I think because the bag does have flop, even though it's fuller, it does have flop, it really does land softer and it doesn't have that harsh aggressive kick. I didn't find this in this bag. It kind of shocked me, the lack of kick this bag had with still being able to cut the bag. So I was really shocked with that. Now, as you get to slower, stickier boards, you're going to get more of a kick. That's why I say for me, I love this material. I love the slow side. I love when boards are fast. Dry, fast, you eliminate almost all of that kick, and the bag just plays phenomenal in those situations. These Sidewinder X's are also ACO stamps. We play at ACO events. You can throw these. Let's go ahead and jump in, talk more about playability, and the bags are versatile. I talk about the dry, fast boards where I like to play, and that's when I want to run bags. Right? If you just want to get up there and run bags, you've got a dry, fast board condition. I think this bag is phenomenal. That's why I love this material because of the speed it plays. It's to play more like a 6 or a 7 on those fast board conditions, which is just perfect for running bags in the hole where you still have control. The bags are not flat at the back, but it's fast enough the bags are going to go up there and catch the hole, and they're going in. I love that for that. But you can also control this material, especially as the boards slow down, kind of to a normal speed or a little stickier, and you can throw blockers up there. And the bag is full enough, it makes a wonderful blocker. It takes a lot of real estate up on the board, becomes a really big obstacle for your opponents to get around. And even though the bags have flop, because they're fuller bags, they collect like a full bag. They don't collect like a floppy bag. And what I mean is floppy bags, when you usually go to collect, they smash up into each other. I call them accordion. They accordion up, they smash up. And so instead of pushing the bag through, they kind of push the bag out of the way, and then your push bag spins around. Floppy bags make great get-around bags, but when you're trying to collect a blocker, you want a fuller bag because you can just clip a corner, and the fullness, the fill grabs it and just pulls and takes these two bags in. You don't have to come right in the middle, which means you're throwing a blocker, you can get more aggressive and put that blocker more over at your opponent's side, knowing with your last bag, you can come down slick side, come right down the middle, and you don't need much. Just catch that bag, and you can pull it right in for you. Enough speed on this fast side that if you have multiple bags up there, you can push through multiple blockers, multiple bags. Like I said, you can blow up piles. There's plenty of speed on this fast side. The bags have enough flop that they fold up really nicely. I didn't have issues with the bags clogging the hole. Typically, fuller bags want to bunch up and clog up in the hole, but because these bags have flop, they fold up and they melt it in. Did not have that problem whatsoever. So it does give you versatility. It does give you some options. As I mentioned, the shot shaping, if you play against an opponent who throws a dirty style game and they're putting blockers in the way, you've got the ability to throw your cuts, your rolls, your flops, get around it. You've even got enough flop here. You can step out and play a get around game and kind of get around their bag, grab the hole, and melt this in. So this bag really does give you a ton of options. Now, to me, this is not a bag that you're going to pull out and play and throw in every situation. As I mentioned, moisture, dampness on the boards, it's not a great bag. You start throwing a slow side, it's going to stick up. Now, you can flip it over and go fast side in those conditions and play through it. So if you're playing in a game and the weather starts changing, the conditions are changing midway through the game, and you start getting more moisture on the board, flip it over, go slick side. The slick side will still move in that moisture, and you can still run your bags and play your game, play the bags to get through that game. But in the right conditions, these bags are phenomenal. I think this linen material, is one of the materials that I find, if you play situational cornhole and you pick and choose bags for specific situations, specific boards and conditions, that's where this comes into play. You find the right conditions for this bag and this material, and it plays phenomenal. It plays better than any other material out there. But you find the wrong conditions for it, and it's not a great material. So you've really got to pick and choose when you're using this. And for me, and the way I play, dry, fast boards, as I mentioned multiple times, this material is one of my favorite materials to pull out because this bag is wonderful for being able to run bags in the hole. Like I said, even in fast conditions, you still have control here. Typically in fast conditions, you pull bags out and they're flying off the back, as I mentioned. This doesn't do it. So I love that bag. I love this bag. I love this material for those situations. And honestly, for a bag that when I'm pulling it out, my mind says to run bags in the hole. Because of the fullness and the fill in here, this bag does still give me my ability to throw cuts. Typically, when I have a fast bag for running bags in the hole, it's not a great bag for throwing cuts, and so I lose my shot shape, and I lose the ability to throw cuts, and I really have to kind of change my game. But with this bag, I still have the ability to throw those cuts. So if I'm playing and I'm running bags in the hole, and my opponent throws a blocker up there, I can still throw my cut and get around it and leave their bag there. So it still gives me those options and playability of a stickier, slower bag, even though I'm playing it as a faster bag, if that makes sense. So I love that about the Sidewinder X. If you're the type of player where maybe you like to play a little bit of a shot shaping game, but you're not that traditional dirty style player, you like to run bags, but you like to throw the occasional cut, roll, or flop, I think you're going to love the way the Sidewinder X plays. Leads me to availability on that. PitchBags has a website. It's pitchbags.com. As always, put a link in the description for you guys to click on and check them out. The bags were $74.99. $10 shipping, $84.99, $85 shipped to you. Phenomenal price, kind of that low to mid price point for ACO stamp bags. I think they're well worth it. And if you've thrown the Sidewinder X, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment down below. Always love hearing you guys' opinions on the bags, even if they disagree with mine. I always love hearing your guys' takes and how you utilize them, how these bags best play for you. I'd love to hear that. Drop a comment down below. Let me know. As always, I thank you so much for your support, and I thank you for watching.